Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. And today we're going to be talking about a potential Houston Texans signing, as we're going to be talking about if the Houston Texans should potentially sign free agent Yannick Ngakoue, who spent last year with the Indianapolis Colts and is a really solid defensive end and would really help with the defensive end problem from last year, which the Texans' defensive ends were really bad. And John, now that you have Will Anderson Jr. playing the defensive end position, that's going to help it improve. A healthy John Grenard and Jerry Hughes returning in 2023. It's going to be good, but I think it could be better. And why not add in Yannick Ngakoue, who's going to make that defensive end, the defensive end depth go up even higher? You would have Yannick Ngakoue be the starter he'd be the starter of the second defensive end starter alongside Will Anderson Jr. And then you'd have two really solid defensive ends off the bench, playing probably still a lot, Jerry Hughes and John Grenard, which I think, in my opinion, to have those two guys off the bench, I think Jerry Hughes could be a starter in a lot of places in the NFL, and a lot of teams in the NFL. I think John Grenard could be a starter for a couple teams in the NFL. So those are two really solid defensive ends to have on your bench. And Yannick Ngakoue could help with some of these young guys like John Grenard and Will Anderson Jr. coming in as rookies. And I think he could really help with those young defensive linemen, because the Texans do have a lot of young defensive linemen on the roster. Let's go over his stats for the last couple years. He's been an amazing defensive end, one-time Pro Bowler in 2022 with the Colts, played 15 games, started in 15 of them, had one forced fumble, 9.5 sacks, 29 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, and 16 QB hits. 2021, played all 17 games with all 17 starts in 2021 with the Raiders. He had 3 passes deflected with 2 forced fumbles, and that was it, with 10 sacks and 28 combined tackles with 8 tackles for loss and 23 QB hits. So in the last 2 seasons with the Raiders and the Colts, he's had 19.5 sacks. 2020 was a little bit of a struggling year for him. Not that, he was solid. He played with 2 teams, played with the Ravens and the Vikings. His total 2020 year, 15 games, 8 starts, and he had 1 pass deflected and 4 forced fumbles with 8 sacks, and 23 tackles and 7 tackles for loss with 11 QB hits. With the Vikings in that year, he played 6 games in 2020 with 5 starts, with 2 forced fumbles, and then he had 2 forced fumbles with Baltimore, and then he had 5 sacks with the Vikings, 3 sacks with the Ravens, and had 12 tackles with the Vikings, 11 with the Ravens, and that was really it. Then his first 4 years in the NFL, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, he played all his first 4 years in the NFL with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm not going to get into everything, because, 2016, his rookie year, 8 sacks. So he had 8 sacks in his rookie year with 1 interception. Only 2 interceptions in his career. One of his interceptions came in his rookie year. 8 sacks in 2016, his rookie year. His best year of his whole career, 2017, with the Jacksonville Jaguars. 2017. 16 games played, 16 game starts. He had 1 pass deflected, he had 0 passes deflected, and he had 6 forced fumbles in 2017 with 12 sacks and 2 fumble recoveries that he returned, 1 for a touchdown and 67 yards. So he had 1 touchdown on a fumble recovery, 6 forced fumbles, and 12 sacks. And that was the year he was a Pro Bowler. His best year of his career by far. 2018, 9.5 sacks with the Jaguars, and 1 pass deflected, 0 forced fumbles. Really, besides in 2018, he had 9.5 sacks in 2018, Besides that, that was really all he did. But then 2019, he had one interception, which he returned that for. So it was a pick six, returned it 23 yards for the pick six. Then had 6 passes deflected, and had 4 forced fumbles with 8 sacks and 41 tackles and 13 tackles for loss. And then after that year in 2019 with the Jags, that is when he left the Jags for the Vikings and only spent 6 games with the Vikings. And that's really been his whole career story since 2016. So some monster years in the NFL, a huge pass rusher, and that's what I love to see. He would be him and Will Anderson on the pass rush would be deadly. I mean, have we seen this guy have a season under 6 sacks in his career? I don't think so. 2022, 9.5 sacks. 2022, 9.5 sacks. 2021, 10. 2020, 8. 2020, 8. And then 2019, 8. 9.5, 12, 8. So this guy in his career has not had under 8 sacks in a season. And he's had 2 double-digit sacks with 12 in 2017, 10 in 2021. He's an amazing pass rusher. He's an amazing pass rusher. I mean, great stopping the run. I think pass rushing and run stopping is something he'd help in a lot. He'd help at pass rushing and run stopping, which is something the Texans really struggled on defense last year, and I think that really helped the Texans. But I think we'll have to see what happened, and I think it'd be a really good signing for the Texans. You guys have your thoughts, and peace out. Go Texans.